yeah, I guess that's it. Just, yeah, I was a huge Sonic fanboy, and I eventually grew out of it. And honestly, it wasn't even so much that I grew out of it. It's just that Sega kind of stopped feeding like my craving for like Sonic material. Like there was what am I saying? Like the TV series like ended like shortly after this. Like I think Sonic Satam ended in '94. I think its last season was in at the same year Sonic and Knuckles came out. So why am I wasting my time with this here? Well, I guess we'll finish this stage and then reset the game. Or I guess we could. Of course, the one time I play the friggin' slot machines in this entire LP, I get the goddamn Robotniks. Of course that would happen. Or you know what? We'll just fuck it. Let's do it. I can fight Knuckles man to man, Hedgehog to Echidna, whatever. Oh, and we've got rings anyway, so yeah, not even. Oh, and hey, we get the silly PC theme to go with this fight too, which yeah, isn't really that great. Actually, and again, I prefer the Sonic 3 Knuckles theme in general, but also particularly for this fight. I just think it's a little more, I don't know, a little more appropriate for like an out and out brawl between the two characters. I guess it was kind of a 2v1, sort of, I guess, even though Tails didn't really do much. Yeah, here's where they rub it in my face, the fact that I missed one emerald. This is so embarrassing. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. You should all unsubscribe this instant. I am not worthy of your patronage. But, yeah. Oh, was that it? Yeah, I think I've gone over all of, like, the Sonic 3 Complete stuff as well. Yeah, I'm just winging it from here. Or actually, you know what? Okay, you can... Yeah, I can go into a little bit more detail about the difference in level design between this and the previous games, because... I don't know, it's just the way the levels are laid out, there's so much thought and care, and just... The levels in this game are so awesome, I think, that there's always more that you can say about them. In fact, they're so great, we're gonna reset the game and and replay one of them so that we can get ourselves a special stage ring. What's the easiest one that I know how to get? Or I guess I could just load up my save where I've got all the emeralds. Oh, I don't even have stage... Fuck. I don't actually have stage select until I beat the game. I forgot about that. Shit. Okay, screw it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Again, please unsubscribe. I'm unworthy. But, okay, we're gonna do this one, actually. I'm just gonna load up my completed save so that I don't have to go back. Like, I'd have to, like, yeah, in order to do what I want to do, I'd have to play this game to the end. I'd have to finish the final zone, get the ending, watch the ending, go back and get an emerald, then replay the final zone. Which... No, I'm sorry. I'm not... I respect your time too much to put you through all of that, so okay. Just pretend that I beat that final super difficult zone. Or that final super difficult special stage. And, we'll just continue from here. As if I had collected all... As if I had been successful in collecting all the emeralds. And we're right back where we left off. Oh, I'm getting all, like, choked up about it, too. I think I need a drink. Oh, I'm actually missing something here. And I'm not actually choked up, to be clear. I was just making a joke about how I'm kind of losing my voice for talking so long. It's so the Death Egg kind of rises up there and launches off a bunch of egg robos, which we'll see throughout the level. I remember I did this once, and I can't remember what the result was. I actually counted the number of robots that the Death Egg launches, and also counted the number of egg robos that appear throughout the level, just to see if it was consistent. And I don't remember what the result was, but I have just kind of based on, like, kind of my best hunch about the number of... Just like a ballpark estimate of the number of robots in the level and the number that it launched off just there, I think it's actually consistent. I think that the number of robots it launches is the same number of robots in the level, which is just really cool. Attention to detail. Here we've got a nice little, yeah, kind of throwback to the previous Sonic bosses here. First boss of Sonic 1, refighting it there. Kind of does a neat little... These boss refights here, of sorts, kind of do a neat job of kind of just showcasing sort of how far Sonic has come, I think, since those days, since the original game, or how sort of how useful his new abilities are, because frankly the Insta-Shield turns these refights into, like, just complete cakewalks. Like, yeah, the Sonic 1 first boss is just, like, there's nothing to him when you got the Insta-Shield. You can just hit 8 times and he's dead. And then the Sonic 2 boss we're gonna fight straight up was probably one of the harder bosses in that game, and he's also just, like, goes down like a chump to Insta-Shield, or I guess Flame Shield, since that's what we'll have when we get to him. It's actually easier to use the Insta-Shield. I might actually, or I guess I could go Supersonic, since we technically have all the emeralds, since I kind of cheated there. Okay, we'll do this the legit way, though. We'll do it, yeah, just abuse the Insta-Shield the legit way. Just like that. And it got kind of, so that's kind of neat, just showing how the Insta-Shield is so useful there, and sort of showing how, yeah, how strong Sonic has become since his debut in the original game back in, what was it, 91? Gosh, how far we've come since those days. Seems like it was only yesterday. But yeah, and also yeah, the debut of the what do they call him? I guess it's Mecha Sonic in this game. Dang. I'm honestly not, like, I'm a Sonic, or I guess a recovered Sonic fanboy of sorts, I guess you would say. I'm not actually, even so though, I'm not 100% on the difference between, what is it, there's Metal Sonic, there's Mecha Sonic, and, God, my throat's just killing me. I've been blabbing for over 2 hours now. Excuse me while I take a drink. Oh man, I'm sorry, my throat's just killing me. Man, between that and the missing the emeralds, this LP is just ruined. Gotta start it over from the beginning. No, I don't think so. I'm actually, apart from the missing the emeralds, which, if I had thought a bit more carefully about, put a bit more planning into this series, I could have predicted. Yeah, I'm actually reasonably happy about the way this this run is going, the way I'm playing through the game. It's actually going kind of well. Okay. This is actually a pretty cool fight, too. It's like, it's not like complete bullshit like the Silver Sonic fight, because, you know, you have rings, and but yet also it's not complete memorization like the Silver Sonic fight, because his attacks are random, and he's got more variety to his attacks, but you can actually dodge them on reaction, and it's just, I don't know, it's a cool boss fight. I really like it. Like I said, boss fights in general in this game are really cool. Or, yeah, in general, not spectacular, but a huge improvement over the previous games. Oh yeah, and I was saying about how, yeah, we don't really have a good, nice, epic final zone to a Sonic game since Sonic 1, and this is it, Death Egg. This is where they bring it back. Death Egg Zone here is just the perfect final level. It is everything I love about Sonic level design, just like the constant, like, just gimmicks all over the place, just the different gadgets and contraptions, and just like really neat and creative ones too, and Troll Springs. I was talking about how much I love Troll Springs. Yeah, this level's got those too. But yeah, just like these moving platforms, the little, yeah, the little appearing, disappearing, dotted energy platforms, conveyor belts, different types of moving conveyor belts, missiles. It's just got all of the things. It throws absolutely everything but the kitchen sink at you. I think there might even be one of those in Act 2. And yeah, this thing here, and a weird little, like, hit the bumpers mini game almost that we'll be coming to later. It's just like just like a crazy amount of stuff. And that's the thing I like about this game. Like, I talk to death in every single LP. I just love variety and just a bunch of different level gimmicks. When 2D platformers have level gimmicks, just like all these different obstacles and objects and contraptions to differentiate each level from the previous one. The Sonic games do that wonderfully, and this stage just kind of encapsulates that. There's like even more unique stuff in this stage, I think, than in any other stage in any Sonic game. It's wonderful. And in addition to that, it's just not just a matter of, you know, just throwing a bunch of garbage at the wall and seeing what sticks in terms of, you know, throwing a bunch of level gimmicks together in a level. You gotta get like really cool level gimmicks, really neat and creative ones that actually kind of impact the gameplay and kind of, you know, affect the way that you play the stage. And again, the gimmicks in this stage are really awesome. There's all kind of fun to play around with, except for these sections. I really hate those sections where you're like riding the moving conveyor belt down and missiles shoot at you. It is just such bullshit. I almost always take a hit. Or actually, this one here looks a bit trickier because it's like, you know, moving diagonally, but it's actually easier because you don't have the conveyor belt on top to work with. It's just like just got like tank treads. Oh, fuck you, Tails. Fuck you, Tails. Oh, fuck you, Tails. Fine, we're riding it all the way. Enjoy the ride, you little two-tailed freak. I should have ditched him. I should have left him at home. He is adorable, though. I love his ducking animation. Tails' ducking animation is just probably one of the most adorable, his ducking sprite is probably one of the most adorable things in, like, sprite art history, just about. You know what, let's go for a bonus stage, have some fun. So, okay, we get this one again. 3 Robotniks? Okay, just about. Can we tempt fate? Apparently I can't even get in there. I used to have a system, or I used to have the timing worked out so I could just get a consistent jump, and I could just get in here over and over and over again. Can I get that back? I'll try it once. Okay, yeah, something like that. Yeah, just like that. That's how you get in there and get the slot machine consistently. I think, okay, I'm not gonna go for the slots, but I think I'll just grab one ring so that I'm not fucked, and then go back into the level. But yeah, just basically, just more, bigger, better. That's the general approach to level design that they took with Sonic 3 and Knuckles compared to the previous Sonic games. And that's kind of what I'm all about in terms of my taste in video games. It's just bigger, better, more. Just period. That's what I like to see in my video games, especially when it comes to like just adding more stuff on top of just a game that I love already. It's actually the same with board games. Now that I think about, like, I've been buying more board game expansions these days than I have more board games. I think like the last 3 or 4 board game purchases I've made have just been expansions to games that I already own. Just because I just put more and more stuff on top, make it even, like I said, more, bigger, better, more epic. And yeah, that's Sonic 3 and Knuckles in a nutshell. And in addition, it's just the stuff that they did make bigger is stuff that I like. Just like the bigger levels, the fact that you get to spend a lot more time in each zone. It adds a little bit more character, a little bit more flavor to each one. Adds a bit more of distinctiveness to it. The Sonic 2 zones, frankly, you were like over them before you even really got a chance to get your feet wet, before you could even really see what the zones were all about. It's like you barely get a chance to experience them, and then you're done with it. Oop. You know what? I don't even have a good way to beat this guy efficiently. I like just... And that's just phase 1. I don't have a good strategy for dealing with this guy. I just like to tank it with rings just because that's the fastest way to do it. If you get a... Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Hey, good job, Tails. You were actually good for something for once. But yeah, that's the way I like to beat that boss, just because there's no quick way to do it otherwise. And, oh yeah, as far as sort of the notion of... I've mentioned in the previous LPs of this game how sort of the level design of Sonic games, you've got to kind of strike the balance between speedways and obstacles. Like, you've got that sense that people have that Sonic should be all about speed, just running forward really fast, without a care in the world, and just, you know, blitzing through the levels. And Sonic 2 did that mostly really well. There was some bullshit where you'd be running along and you'd run into some nonsense that you couldn't possibly react to, but in general, you know, the fact that it added the spin dash, it had shorter levels, sort of more open levels with fewer things getting in your way. Of course, that made the things that did get in your way all the more annoying, especially when you get to the frickin' Oil, Ocean, and Metropolis zone where the pacing of the game just kind of dies. But apart from that, it did a really good job of, I think, emphasizing the sort of speedway aspect of Sonic the Hedgehog level design. And Sonic 1, a little bit of a different flavor to it, more on the obstacle side of things. Like, you've got your big, wide-open speedway zones, but you get through them really quick. Like, you've got, like, what? You've got Green Hill, Starlight, and I guess to a very, very lesser extent, Spring Yard, I guess, although that's really more obstacle-based. And yeah, because the speedway zones in that game go so fast, you spend most of your time in the slow obstacle course zones. You spend most of your time in, you know, Marble, Marble, Labyrinth, and Scrap Brain. So it's like, it's more of an obstacle course type thing, where you're just kind of, you know, slowly platforming, precision maneuvering, you know, making good use of precise use of those level obstacles, the wheels in Scrap Brain and that kind of stuff, riding platforms in Marble Zone. Yeah, I really do think that if you were to describe the level design of Sonic 1, it's more certain, it's an obstacle course, essentially, where you're just like constantly jumping over things, precision platforming, navigating obstacles, all that kind of stuff. And Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think, strikes the perfect balance between those two sort of aspects of Sonic level design. Because there is no zone in Sonic 3 and Knuckles that is really pure speedway or pure obstacle course. Like, Sonic 2 had a bit of that. You had, like, a bit of speedway and a bit of obstacle in each zone in varying degrees, but it tended to be more very heavily weighted towards one or the other. Whereas in this, you've got a bit more of a mix in each zone. It's like, yeah, you've got you've got not a ton of speed in these ones, but yeah, you got like sort of simulated speed, I'd say. You got these fancy teleports, essentially, where you basically just watch Sonic zip around and stuff. That's another cool thing. I always love how the Sonic games just do fancy ways of handling what's essentially just a teleport. Like, all these things really do is just kind of teleport you from one section of the level to the other. It's just kind of on autopilot. And it's the same in the other Sonic games. You had, especially in this game though, like Sonic 2, you had like, he'd get like shot through internets, or sorry, that was a stupid joke there. Shot through a series of tubes to sort of teleport around levels and get to different sections. Sonic 3, you had, you know, kind of their different variation of the jet tubes, sort of different fancy ways of teleporting Sonic around the level that were just kind of visually interesting and made things kind of neat and exciting. Frick.